Hi, I'm Dave Tamkus, born and raised in Shamokin area. I grew up in the 80s, high school in the 90s, remember, and there was still some stores downtown that you could go and shop. It was pre-Walmart. I remember when Walmart opened in the late 90s and it was a big event. Unfortunately, places started closing up shop after that. So I graduated from high school in 1999. I left to go to Scranton to Marywood University, and I was away for 4 years. Moved back, took a job in Cole Township, and I worked there for 10 years. I was fortunate that I got to use what I went to school for and had a successful job. As the early 2000s progressed, places were definitely closing down. There wasn't as many places to go buy shoes or some of the other cool little niche shops that were in town. Probably the early 20-teens, there was a bit of a push for revitalization. There was a group of people started Sabre, local businesses all involved, and really just a push to get new businesses in, kind of unite the businesses that were there, that were all in it as a team, and particularly to make sure that, a high tide rises all ships. So the more people we got here somehow, the better. I mean, with the AOAA, there's a lot of visitors coming from out of town. Like it or not, you can't deny that there's people coming into town and spending money. People trying to get hotels going, which would really do big business for downtown, because then you have people staying overnight and not staying in Danville or Frackville, those places. So I went to school for graphic design. From an early age, I always was into art, drawing. I didn't want to be a poor, starving artist. I wanted to eat too. I had a little intern job up until earlier this year, and I left and went out on my own and doing my own freelancing of graphic design. So I do logo design, any kind of graphic design service that you would need, and also hand-painted signs. So you can see a lot of the hand-painted signs downtown here in Shamokin, in Cole Township, a couple in Mount Carmel. They're actual physical paint on wood. Brings a uniqueness to it, so I'm using my art background, but also helping to beautify and update some things in town. I also have another business with my friend Chad, Shamokin Shirt Company, which I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. And, we just kind of wanted to lean into some of the nostalgia from when we were growing up in the 90s and the 80s of some places that we remember downtown, like the Fun Shop. We have a Vicky shirt, but then also there's some fun shirts on there that kind of, it's okay to poke fun at Shamokin.
It's more like slang of growing up.
Well, there's some slang, but we have some funny ones too where we're poking fun a little bit at Shamokin. But, it's just a way to instill a sense of community and pride, I guess.
Right. You can make fun of yourself.
Right.
Someone else can't make fun of you.
Right, yeah. We don't want to hear anybody from Mount Carmel talking about us, but
that's Martin Carmel.
Martin Carmel. We have one that says Martin Carmel as well. Before we officially started Shamokin Shirt Company, one day at the Anthracite Heritage Museum, I saw this old license plate that said, "I like living in Shamokin." And it was the outline of Pennsylvania, yellow state with black lettering in front of it. And I thought, kind of be cool if I made a shirt that said, "I love Shamokin." So that was kind of the first one. I just had a couple that were different designs that said just Shamokin. Because I know, like, when I travel somewhere, I always end up coming home with a t-shirt that says, Cleveland or Baltimore or whatever. And there's nowhere in town, especially with all the new people coming to places like the AOAA, there's no more Fun Shop anymore where you can get stuff like that before. So that was kind of the catalyst. We don't have a downtown storefront or anything for Shamokin Shirt Company. It's all through our website, but it still gives people a place. Particularly, we've noticed that there's we ship to plenty of states from people like you who, still love Shamokin but don't live here anymore.
Right. Who live in Jersey. Dirty Jersey.
We're here at Artisan Alley, and this is some of my artwork that I have hanging here. It's open Saturdays and Sunday afternoons. Well, late morning to early afternoon.
Okay, so
These are all just acrylic paintings. Well, most of them are acrylic paintings that I made over the last few years. Some of them are on wood canvas, other are on canvas. So
this one here is on wood, right?
The one up top is on wood. This is canvas. I get an idea and I just start running with it and throwing throwing paint on the canvas and seeing where it ends up. I don't typically think about it too much. I have some abstract stuff on this wall, kind of drawn to some of the more bold imagery there in the middle. Sometimes you don't quite know what you want to paint, so you let the paint tell you where it wants to go.
Now, what was the inspiration for this?
That is not mine. I wish I could have that amount of patience. You know, this isn't a traditional canvas or anything. It's actually an old window from Studio 207 that they gave me, and painted on the back of it. Painted on the back of it, and you know, didn't even clean it. Just it added to it. I thought some bold stuff. I was kind of going through a phase where I was messing with light, you know, and I don't want to say possession, but we have some charcoal stuff too. I did a couple pieces like at the top and the bottom here where I actually made two drawings and put one over top of the other and tore the top one to reveal the one underneath, which is terrifying because you have a cool drawing and then you gotta rip it, but it makes it better. Because I would say that those two, the top one and the bottom one here, and actually the one in the middle, are probably the three that people come in and go like, whoa, those are really cool. So it worked.
Nice. Anything else about your art, your design, your Shamokin?
No, I mean, you can find me on my website or Facebook.
Or sound off?
Sound off every once in a while. People call sound off about me.